If someone told Dean Winchester that at 22 he'd be pregnant and alone with his brother's baby, but he might have just looked at them like they have 4 heads and are past because there is no way that would happen to him. But it did, and it happened right now as we speak. Dean in the bathroom, pregnancy test in his hand. Yes, test plug. He wanted to be sure in case one was fertile. Totally. He don't know how he got here to this promotion. Well, he does, but he don't want to admit it. Don't want to face the fact that he loves his brother in a way he shouldn't did it, but want to admit the truth that he acted on those feelings, and he definitely don't want to be pregnant. He already committed the intent cast, but being pregnant with his brother's baby is a different story. But he shall wait to see the results positive. He stared at the line, increasing that he is indeed pregnant. He blew out a breath and stand up and wash his hand. He looked at himself at the mirror. His skin is all pale and his eyes are red and blow out in a breath. What am I gonna do? He thinks. In the most case, the pregnant person can't wait until their sign cut off. The others do. They can bother and excitement, but that's not the case for Dean, because seeing right now, Dean is in the hotel, can breathe in excitement, but that's not the case for Dean, because see right now, Dean is in the hotel alone with his father. Just drop him here and went on a hunt of his own thing, where kind of treason between them ever since his brother, Dean's brother, left. So he was thankful for the space anyways from his dad, but he went to thankfully for the space away from his brother. It had hurt him the most when Sam walked out that door and walked of his life. And now, on top of that heartbreak, he had to deal with a baby. He don't know how he was going to do with this on his own, or how he was journey bridged through this, but his first what the fuck? Oh, God, dude, I'm sleepy. Bridge through this, but his first step would be to see a doctor. He needs to confession. I know my writing will suck, but I don't write often because I'm bad at it, but I would love to hear you Facebook, so please I leave a comment and close. Oh yeah, damn. This is the Arthur. The next day, Dean called to set up an appointment, and they were able to fit him in. But that Sunday, it wasn't hard to get to set up one another fake name. This time, he was Brian Allen, 22-year-old from a Montana. He knew it wasn't as weird as he thought, because some men could get pregnant and he had the gender, but he don't care about that right now. He's spent all morning panicking, waiting for the time to leave for the appointment. He had to admit he was freaking out. I mean, who wouldn't be scared with this type of news? He was so exotic he couldn't even get, or he would get necessary, so he stopped the breakfast. He got everything he needs and left the motel room. As he drove to the appointment, he had a feeling that he didn't want to go alone, but he had to, because he had no one to go with him, no one to calm him down. So he had to do it on his own, like everything else in his life. He sighed in at first, the first and sat in the front. Okay, front, sorry. Sat in the front, sitting in the room. he calmed him down, so he had to do it on his own, like everything else in his life. He signed in at the front and sat in the back. Was really only waiting the room for what felt like empty. But really only 45 minutes before he was called and led back into a room by an assistant. Okay, just a seat, Mr. Allen. The doctor will be right next with you. The artist told him once they were in the room. Okay, thank you, he responded before she closed the door. It was quiet, too quiet for him. He never He sighed. Okay, thank you. And then it was quiet, too quiet for him. He never liked to be alone in the silence. Don't help that he was nervous and scared. He trapped his foot as he waited for the doctor and his wash. They would hurry up so he could get this over with. 10 minutes later, there's a knock. Was a knock on the door. Come in, he said aloud. Enough for the door opened to reveal a woman elder than him. She was tall and blonde. Hello, she said, giving him a smile. Hi, he said back. Mr. Allen, I'm assuming. Yes, that's me. We'll say hi, Mr. Allen. I'm the Dr. Lenson. How are you today? She asked. I'm okay. A little nervous, he admitted. That's okay. It's perfectly normal for someone needing your dimension. So, why didn't you go over? What brings you here today? Um, sure. So, I'm pregnant. I took the test and I just came to get a confirmation in case it was a fail, he told her. Um, the doctor looked shocked, as if she didn't read the chest or have chest that like his pregnant, she questioned. Yes, I brought the test if you would like to see. Yes, let me see them, please. He nodded. Okay, and got them out of his pocket and handed them to her. She looked at them over. Well, they sure are positive. Let me go get the uterus sound and we'll take a good look. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. She left the room and come back a few minutes later. All right, Mr. Allen, if you could lay back and lift up your shirt for me, that'd be awesome. He did as she asked. I'm hungry. So, and laid back and pull his shirt up. And the gel was kind of cold. Gonna be cold, she said, warning him. Just nod before a squirt the gel on. He shaved. It was cold, all right, she hummed, running the tool over his stomach. He laid there silently as she looked over the machine. She broke the silence before he did so. Mr. Allen, you are pregnant. Would you like to see the baby? He felt tears starting to stream, saying yes, nodded. She turned the screen so he would see. Now, your baby is very small because you part that far along. But right here is your baby, she showed him, pointing to the screen, showing him the fetus, his baby. How, wow, he said. It was amazing. He had a baby growing inside of him. Congratulations, Mr. Allen, on your baby, she told him. Thank you. I get copies of this? Copies of this? She told him. I think, you could. Wait. Yeah, of course. I printed them out and assisted the will hand. Then, too, when you get to the front desk, she said as she wiped the gel off. Okay, well, it was sense to meet you, Mr. Allen. You too, he said before she left. He got himself together before leaving. The room, choking out. He got his copies and, of course, the picture and set up to another appointment, but he doubted he'd still be in this town, but he would try and come back in a couple weeks for his appointment. But he left the place and got back in his car. He took a moment to look over his pictures and cried. She told him, "Thank you. I could get copies. This, of course, this. Yeah, of course, I printed them out and will hand. Then the Simpson will hand. Then you too, when you get to the front desk," she says as she wipes the gel off. "Okay, well, it's nice meeting you, Mr. Allen." "To you," he said before she left. He got himself together before leaving the room and checking out. He got his copies of the picture and set up another appointment. Doubt he is still being in town, but he would try. Okay. The same day he wasn't hard to sit. Oh yeah. And then that. Yes, me. Okay. Okay. Right there. I'm right there. He got himself together before leaving the room and checking out. He got his copies of the picture another appointment. He disturbed he'd still be in this town, but he would try and come back in a couple weeks for his appointment. He left the place and got back in the car. He took a moment to look over his picture and cried. she told him, "Thank you. I could get." Okay. Yeah. That's a previous. Yeah, of course. I'll. Okay. Again. Okay. Well, it was nice meeting you, Mr. Allen. You too, he said before. Okay. He left the place and got back in his car. It took a moment to look over his picture and cried.
Part 3 of Don't Touch My Anime Boyfriend. So I first started dating Levi when I first downloaded the app. But he's just so mean, so I dumped Levi for Dobby. But then Levi got jealous and sent me...
He wanted to call Sam. He needs to call him, but he couldn't call Sam. He wouldn't answer. He hasn't answered any of his calls since Dean dropped him off at the bus station. He couldn't blame Sam for not talking to him. Sam probably didn't want to have any of his past with his Dana Ford. Dean had to understand that he was just Sam passed. Now he disturbed Sam. Even spoke of him. He sighed. Miss Sam. But he couldn't help him. Sam was the one of the love of his life, but nobody could change that. But he probably wasn't the love of Sam's life. No matter how many times Sam told him different, he never believed him. But even though he couldn't count on Sam or his dad could count on Bobby and Ellen growing up when his dad go on hunt, would drop them off with Bobby and Ellen, Portal, James. It was like Bobby and Ellen were his parents more than John. He could tell them anything. Itchy. I hate my food. Once who would hold him, and he had a nightmare, even though his father told him it was weak of him to get comfort, and they were the ones who helped him with his reading. They did everything parents should do for their kid. So he decided to call them. He sat down the bed and dialed Bobby's number. The phone picked up after the handful of rings. "Who is this?" Rough voice spoke. "Hey, Bobby, this is Dean Winchester," he added. "I know who you are, son. I'm just surprised to hear from you." "Yeah, I know," he agreed sadly. When he was with his dad, he couldn't exactly keep up with the contact unless it was for hunting purposes. So what has you calling, son?" asked him. I mean, I have a problem and I need some help," he started. "What's wrong? Are you in trouble? You hurt?" he asked seriously. "Not exactly. You lost me, so what's the problem?" He paused for a moment before speaking again. "I'm pregnant, Bobby, and I don't know what to do," he burst out, his serious voice slapping into a scared one. "Oh, wow. Are you sure?" Bobby asked, with a shock in his voice. "Yes, I'm sure. I went to the doctor and everything." "Wow, well, then congratulations, son." "Thank you," he said with a shrug. "You don't sound that excited." "Well, I'm not." "That's too bad." Bobby never had any biological children of his own, so it hurts to hear Dean not be excited. "So what's up exactly? Were you calling for—" "I was calling to ask if I could come up to see you and Ellen. Daddy's kinda just left me at the hotel and I could use people to talk to." "Well, of course you can come and stay up here. You know you're always welcome, and Ellen will always be happy to see you." Biologically children of his own, so it hurts to hear Dean be not excited. Okay, like this. Well, yeah. Thank you, Bobby. No problem. I'll see you in a couple hours, Bobby said before hanging up. Sam and Dean have always been in love with each other, even when they don't know. But as they got older, being down, and they knew they were something there, they just tried to deny it. Believe it or not, Sam made the first move. Otherwise, it may not count, since Dean was passed out. It happened when Dad and Dean came back from a hunt and Dean was messed up. Really had made bad. Sam was only 14 at the time, but he had been having feelings for Dean for a while. He was watching TV, staying late since it was night the week, and he wanted to be late at night when his dad came in the door. A bastard Dean leaned on him for spots. Sam, or his dad, he could count on Bobby and Alan growing up. When his dad goes on a hunt, he would drop them off with Bobby and Alan. Presto, Jim, it was like Bobby and Alan were his parents more than John. He could tell them anything. They were the ones who would hold him when one who had a nightmare even though his father told him that week of him to get comfort, and they were the ones who helped him with his reading, and they did everything his parents should do for their children. So he decided to call He sat down on the bed, dealt Bobby's number. The phone picked up. "Who is this?" Rough tone. "Hey, this is Dean Winchester," added. "Oh, I know who you are, son." Okay, I'm surprised, yeah. Surprised to hear from you, okay. Well, I've had this so many times. Trying to get to the part. Hey. Butthead. But my brother and sisters. I just coughed fake coughing. Well, actually, it's not even my business. It's your business. Okay. Sam, have always okay. Okay. Dean looked horrified. It scared Sam half to death to see his older brother like that. What happened? He asked. Well, damaged to as their father laid Dean on one of the beds. Sam, we don't have time to go get me the first aid kit Dad ordered. He couldn't argue if he wanted to. So he got the kit and handed it to his dad. Now go get me a bucket of hot water and hand it to me an old shirt. Your brother gonna need a bit on something. He just nodded and got an his dad asked for him. Body jacked as he screamed when his dad poured the whiskey over his open cut and scratches. I would scratch anybody, honestly. Himself up. Dean had passed out. Dad had woke him up and take some pain medicine before he sleeps again, making sure you watch him. His dad told him. Where are you going? Sam questioned out. When will you be back? I don't know. Sam stopped asking questions and just do what I say. He rolled his eyes. Yes, sir. Good. Now, slice the... Okay. Then he got into bed. I know this part. I'm getting to the part. He reached to Bobby and Ellen's house in less than 6 hours. He parked. Aw, poor baby. Parked in the driveway, grabbing his bags, then knocked on the door. When the door opened, it said Ellen. Dean, extremely calm. In surprise, Bobby must have forgotten to mention that he was coming. Why, typical. Hi, Ellen, he smiled. She dragged him inside and pulled him tight. Hug. He dropped his bags and hugged her back. He missed her hugs and her gala. Not that he didn't love his dad, but he liked to be around the stable people. After a moment, she pulled back and ran her hands over his cheek to make sure it was all right. He chuckled at her acting. So what brings you down here? She asked him. Bobby didn't tell you I was coming? No, he didn't. Why? Is something wrong? She asked, turning into a considering mother. Well, not exactly. Maybe we should sit down and talk. Okay? She nodded. He could tell her was getting worried. Well, hurry up and spit it out, son. She rushed him when he didn't automatically speak. He took his head and he took a deep breath. Well, what's wrong? Is that I'm pregnant. Her eyes went wild in shock and a surprise. No, wait. Really, Dean Winchester? You better not be joking, right? She said, struggling. He took his hand and smiled. I'm 100% serious. I'm pregnant. You're gonna be a grandmother, he told her. He knew Ellen wouldn't be a biological mother, but she was his mother and they were family. Oh my goodness, she shouted with happy tears. Congratulations. She shrugged and hugged him. Thank you. He knew when he talked to Bobby earlier. He wasn't excited and was disappointed, but as the day went on, he realized he was really happy. But now did this? She asked him. Well, When two people see each other, she cut him off with a slap upside the head. Hey, he said, rubbing his head. I meant, who's the father? And when did this place happen, smart ass? Oh my gosh. He went silent and couldn't tell them that Sam was the baby father, his baby, so he quickly made something up. He told her the story about when he found out in his doctor's appointment when she asked him if he knew who the father was. He just told her it was just some random one night stand a couple months ago. So you're gonna be raising this baby alone? Looks like it, he said sadly. Well, you ain't raising this baby alone. Me and Barbie are gonna be right here to help you whenever you need it, she said. She told him. Thank you, Ellen, he said, getting a little Of course, she said, kissing his forehead. Now come on, let's get some food in you, she said, getting up, following her into the kitchen to help her making dinner. That night, they all ate like a family together. Not killing them now. Oh my gosh, not clean the room. ahead. Stop that. I hate being sick. Brother, sister. Go to the bathroom. So. He thought he would be able to sleep, but easier being in the house he mostly grew up in, but that wasn't the case. He was thinking maybe he should tell. Okay. Sam, he even was pregnant, but if they weren't speaking, which was Sam's fault, this was his baby and he had the right to know. But on the other hand, if Sam wanted to know what was going on in Dean's life, he would have picked up the phone. But he was also stressing out about the future. How was he gonna raise the baby? He'd never raise a baby of his own. Well, yeah, he raised Sam, but that was his brother. He had a little brother help with that growing up. And he had a little help with that growing up. How was he gonna afford everything for the baby? What was he's gonna do to make money? Where was he gonna live? Where would he tell his dad? He honestly don't know if he'd tell his dad growing up. He was thought in his to be safe. His dad growing would probably be upset with him, just like he was when they found Dean could get pregnant. But his dad has his good moments, so you never know. But he didn't want to focus on that right now. Right now, he just went to focus on his baby and finding work. He needs the money. It would be good decision for him, and it will be helping to keep him busy a week or so until his dad needs him. he was able to get a job at the shop, at an audio shop, working on cars. His dad never called him, so he settled down into the room at Bobby. He didn't have to hide here, so he went by his real name. He started regularly for a checkup for him and his baby. Ooh, 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 ooh. But just to make sure everything was okay, because even though it was exactly rare for a man to get pregnant, not even a man who could get pregnant, and since a man was a male, there were some high hikes for his pregnancy. Damn it. A life was going fairly on. Well, for him, it just been 2 months since he got to Bobby's. Ooh, so he was around 2.5 months pregnant. Now he was doing good. He had a little bit of a morning sickness, but it wasn't that too bad. Was pretty mild, and he wasn't showing, which was to be expected. He had chose to leave to a voicemail for Sam, saying that he had some important news that he really needs to talk to, but Sam never called him back, so he didn't hear his brother again. While he's staying at Bobby and Ellen would make sure he's eating all the right things and doing everything to stay. He complained to Bobby, and then at the end didn't mind Ellen mothering hunning. Bobby was just acting like himself, wasn't really like Ellen, but if he felt like Dean was pushing him too hard, he would have definitely yelled at him to sit down. But now that he was working, he was able to save up some money for the baby. Hopefully after the baby was born, he could an appointment, but was pretty sure with somehow he was doing, but was sad that Sam wasn't around, he said. He wished Sam was there to kiss him and hug him and love him, but he wished that he could have. If Dean felt like he was pushed himself too hard, he would have definitely yelled at him to sit down. Now that he was working, he was able to save up some money for the baby. Hopefully after the baby was born, he could get an apartment. He was pretty with how he was doing, but he was sad that Sam wasn't around. He wished Sam was there to hug him and kiss him and love him, but he wished that he could have his own little family, but he couldn't because his other half was missing. Sam was young and had a whole life to live, so they never talked about kids, mostly because Dean had thought he would never get out of the hunting life. And deep down, they always knew Sam was going to leave, so he didn't even know how would feel about him being pregnant, but imagine that Sam would be ecstatic at he hoped he would be. Growing up, Sam always had a dream and goal to leave hunting. Hunting and this life behind, but he worked hard so he could avenge that goal, but he would stay up late to finish all his assignments, but he'd hang out at the library if Dean let him. He read the book and he was basically attracted to get good grades. It all paid off when in the end of he would be able to get a full ride scholarship Stanford. He had done it. He had attracted his mind, dreamed of doing something better with his life. Stanford was just the start of it all. Now his family wasn't so excited about his dreams of wanting to leave his dad. Especially his dad. Always told him he will never getting out, and that would be stuck in life. Anytime Sam would even talk or think about doing something, or else his father would get upset and tell him harsh. His brother, on the other hand, was different because his whole life his brother believed in him, like he always knew that deep down Sam would be better than the life they were living. Dean always tell Sam that was he proud of him no matter what. It was when he was a baby, his brother would praise him for talking in a bottle, taking a bottle and sleeping through the night. When he was a kid, Dean would praise him for putting on his clothes right trying shoes correctly and pressing words right when he becomes a teenager. Dean still told him that he was proud of him for everything. He always valued Dean's option of him more than his dad. His shoes currently processing. When he became a teenager, Dean still told him that he would proud of him for being everything he always valued. Dean's option of him more than his dad. Your B at but when he found out he got accepted to Stanford, he didn't know how Dean was going to take it, because even though his brother put on this though, but nothing pressed me pandemic, but he knew that his brother couldn't stand by being alone. He hated it. He thought about it, staying for a second. He didn't want to leave Dean, but he loved him. But even though he loved him, nothing was going to change but his mind about Stanford. Sam enjoyed his life at Stanford, but was enjoying the test, the work, and learning. People always thought it was weird how much he loved school. I hate school, but he didn't care. He was enjoying being able to do his with no distraction about a hunt. He was enjoying being away from his family, and a normal person will more like he enjoys being away from his dad and hunting, and he did miss his brother. Well, lover, it was a brother-lover situation. Either way, he will miss missed his annoying action and cheekly grins, miss his smile and being close to him. When he was with his family and hunting, he saw his brother every day, but since he left school, he hasn't seen or talked to him. Which was his fault. But he was the one not responding to Dean's call or text But he knew it was wrong of him, but he was just running for the right time to call him back. But he did listen to every voicemail left, listen to him say he missed him and he wanted him back. He listened as Dean told him he loved him and that he hoped he was happy. the last voicemail Dean had left him a little nervous. He shrugged it off on the app's portion that his new was about Dad, but he also doubted on calling him to see what was wrong. He knew that if he called Dean, he'd cry, breaking down, and he'd cry and tell Dean that he missed him. That he'd probably break down and cry and tell Dean that he missed him and missed being on the road with him. But he couldn't say all that because he had been domesticated to leave, and did he really have the right to cry about it? But his brother deserved a call. But he did listen to... Okay. But his brother deserves a phone call after everything Dean done for him. But at least he could do... Okay. Yeah. Like he had promised him.
Share your journey on Facebook. Whether you're looking to make a difference, start a new project, or pursue your passions.
I love Sandra. Okay. I was a week later when Dean had gotten a phone call from Sam. Sam's phone call. He was the middle of fixing up a car in Bobby Jack's junkyard when his phone started to ring. He got up and wrapped his hand off before answering the phone, checking to see who it was. "Hello?" he asked. No response. "Hello," he says. Hi, Dean," he whispered into the phone. Sammy questioned. "Yeah, wow, I haven't heard from you in a while," he said, scaring and hurt in his tone. "Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry," Sam apologized. "Yeah, sure, are you?" he sang, rolling his eyes at... So, what? What am I... Wow, I haven't heard from you in ages. From you in ages. Well, in a while, he said, screaming it and hurt in his tone. "Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry," Sam apologized. "Yeah, sure you are," he said, rolling his eyes. "So what has you calm?" he asked. "Ooh, I got your voicemail saying we need to talk. Now, you wanna talk? I've been calling you for months, and you currently haven't wanting to talk," he says. "I know, Dean, I know. I have no excuse, but we can talk about my length of calls another time. Whatever. So what's up? What's the news? Look, before I tell you, I just want to let you know I'm only telling you this because I feel you should know. Yeah, okay. Just tell me already. He took a deep breath. I'm pregnant. There was silence. Sam, are you sure? He cut him off. Yes, I'm sure. And I went to the doctor and everything. Oh, well, congratulations, man. Do you know who the dad is? Sam asked. Even he had feelings. He knew. Yeah, I do, Sam. Well, I would like to meet them one day, you know. They are my niece or nephews. No, Sam. When I meant I knew the babies. Everything will okay. Oh, well, okay, man. Do you know who the baby father is? Sam asked, even though he had a feeling he already knew. Yeah, I do. You know. Yeah, I do, Sam. Well, would like to meet them one day. You know, they are my niece or nephew. No, Sam. When I meant I knew the baby's father, I meant you are the baby's father. A moment of silence. Oh. Are you... Oh. I can't do this. I gotta go. Then there was a click, and then Sam was gone.
Share your journey on Facebook. Whether you're looking to make a difference, start a new project, or pursue your passions, celebrate major moves, little victories, and every moment in between.
He was able to make a couple of friends, so he wouldn't completely alone, and people to talk to it. Talk to help mental help to get out of the house. He had an actual made friends, people who didn't think him being pregnant was weird. Oh my God. He soon to be starting his second trimester of being pregnant so far. Everything was going good, and he was still normal, selfish, and same old charming guy he always been. He hasn't talked to Sam in a while. Well, since the last time Sam called him, he decided he would be the best if he gave him some time to process what Dean had to tell him, but it had been 2 weeks. So he figured out Sam was just ghosting him again. Shit. But started to get pissed off. Okay. It wasn't fair that Sam got to ignore him, but Dean was putting in all the effort when he shouldn't be. Sam should have man up and be responsible. Dean was the one pregnant and alone, not Sam. If Sam was truly loved him, he would have been by Dean's side in some way. He hasn't asked Sam to just leave Stanford. He was asking for support, but he thinks of going to California just to give him a piece of his mind. But he wanted to give him a few more days if he didn't hear from him. And the next week, was going up there. But the whole Sam situation thing were good. He had clicked in with his dad, and a couple days ago he then hasn't told him he was pregnant, so whenever he saw his dad next, it would have just be a good surprise. But he recently went the doctor and heard his baby heartbeat, but he can admit, and it says he definitely shared he gotten some new pictures as well to put in his journal. A couple of days after he gotten down here, Ellen has gotten him a journal. She says it was something she did when she was pregnant with Joe and thought he might like to. Like it to try it as well, but he had said that was a chick thing to do, but he ended up doing it anyways. But he wrote in it almost every day, deciding how he was feeling and how life was going. He wrote. He thought about the gender, his name, and everything baby related. Sometimes he'd write letters to his baby, promise that the world would give them good good life and to protect them no matter what. Every time he got new pictures of the baby, he would glue one in the journal. He have his baby the nickname of Jelly Bean because when he first saw them on the uterus, that's what they look like. Over the time of work he had. Already he was putting it towards stuff he would need for the baby because otherwise he loved his baby. He knew they were expensive, which he thought was stupid because why was it stuff too? Oof, okay. But he still had a 6-month left of his pregnant, but he was trying to plan for a future. Bobby and Ellen already said he could stay with them as long as he needs to, and that they were always accepted them so much. They were the best suggesting parents. I hope he could be like them for his baby. They kissed and made out a lot, even more when Dad was always they'd make out in the shower as they jerked each other off. Sometimes they share, often kiss, as Sam figured Dean to an organ. They would share a kiss before Sam went to school, then kiss some more when he got back. If Dad was gone, they kissed for hours. Dean stabling. Sam leaped with his hand on his hair. Laughed. And intentionally most of the romance thing between them, because even after Sam resumed Dean that he wanted him, and it was okay. Dean still felt like a pervert. He would blame himself for Sam wanting to tell him himself that he crippled but when Sam kissed him, all that, they would share a kiss before Sam went to school, then kiss some more, then he got back if Dad was gone, but they kissed for hours and standing Sam's lap with his hand on his head. So maybe the way Sam reacted wasn't the best, but cut him some slack. How would you react if you found out your lover was pregnant and that lover happened to be your brother? Yeah, you would probably freak out the same way. But either way, he knew it was a dick move. He just hanged up on his brother when he knew he was trying to talk to Dean. I was probably freaking out just as much, and he was ignoring that. Dean was the one pregnant, and here he imagined him. He was ignoring the person he loved and the person who he was carrying his baby, and he didn't even feel bad right now. He was feeling kind of shocked. He had totally forgotten was the fact that Dean could get pregnant. If he had remembered, he would have used a condom there last night. But they were too set on making it special and quick. That they forget when he went to Stanford. But his plan was to cut all ties from his past life, but not wanting anyone to wait until he was older. He was married and had a wife, but now I look at it that it wasn't happening, but he did really believe Dean. Maybe this was Dean trying to get him to become, but Dean never truly wanted him to leave. So what if this is him trying to drag Sam down? He knew that probably wasn't the case because Dean saw how much school meant to him, but he was beating himself up for not only thinking that Dean would do something like that. But also for hanging him up on his brother, he would have to find some way to make it up to him, but not right now. He couldn't deal with this, but he had school to focus on. He could worry about this baby later. Okay. Dean was getting to see Sam. He had planned the trip for this weekend since he was off and had nothing better to do. He was going to talk to him about the baby and then tell him he was done if Sam was going to keep running away. Then that was him. But Dean will not allow Sam to abandon this baby before they are here. So Sam was either... Oh my gosh. Oops. Okay. Dean was going to see Sam. He had to plan the trip for this time since he was off and had nothing better to do. He was going to talk to him about the baby, and then tell him he was down if he was going to keep running away, and that was him. But Dean will not allow Sam to abandon this baby. Before they are here. So Sam either going to step up and be there, be there, or he wasn't, and he wouldn't get to know this baby. He knew it wasn't fair to anyone, but he didn't want this baby to get here, then grew up disappointed and asked, "Where's their father?" I am sweaty, so he rather would get all the negative out of his life before the baby got here. He got on the road and on Thursday. It was 3 a.m. since it could take a whole day to get to California, and he didn't want to fly. He had panicked everything yesterday and flew it up last night. Ellen had packed him snacks and drinks for the road. She also packed. Okay. He was kind of feeling shock. He had total forgotten the fact that Dean could get pregnant. If he remembers, he could have used condoms their last night together, but they were too set on making a special and quick that they forgot. When he went to Stanford, his plan was to cut all ties from his past life, not wanting any of that to follow him to Stanford. But now he couldn't do that since he had a baby on the way. He doesn't want to be a parent, but he was too young he was wanting to wait until he was older, until he was married and had a wife, but now it looks like that wasn't happening. But he did really believe Dean. Maybe this was Dean trying to get him to come back. Never truly wanted him to leave. So what if this is him trying to drag him down? He knew that probably wasn't the case because Dean knew how much school meant to him. He was beating himself up for not only thinking that Dean would do something like that, but also for hanging up on his brother. Woohoo, I'm hot. Now he couldn't do that since he had a baby on the way. He doesn't want to be a parent. He was too young. He wanted to wait until he was older, but until he was married and had a wife, but now it looks like that wouldn't happen. But he really believed Dean. Maybe he was Dean trying to get him to come back. Dean never truly wanted him to leave. What if this is him trying to drag Sam down? Woo! He knew that probably wasn't the case because Dean knew how much school meant to him. He was beating himself up for not only thinking that Dean would do something like that, but also hang up on his brother. He would have to find some way to make it up to him, but not right now. He couldn't deal with this. He had school to focus on. He could worry about the baby later. Dean is going to see Sam. He had plans the trip for this weekend since he was going to talk to him about the baby and then tell him he was done. If Sam was going to keep running away, then that was him. But Dean will not allow Sam to abandon this baby before they are here. So Sam was either going to step up and be there, or he wouldn't, and he wouldn't get to know this baby. He knew it wasn't far to anyone, but he didn't want this baby to get here. When growing up, disappointed, and ask where their father was he would rather get all the negative out of his life before the baby got here. He got on the road on Thursday at like 3 a.m. since it would take a whole day to get to California, and he didn't want to fly. He had panicked packed everything yesterday and falls up last night. Ellen had packed him snacks and drinks for the road. She also packed all his medicine in a small bag and put it in his bag because she knew he'd forget. They were when he got on the road, so they huge. Oh, in a small bag, and put it in his bag because she knew he'd forget it. But they were up when he got on the road, so they hugged and all that before he got in the car and drove off. He was a little tired, but that was normal for him. He hasn't got back to the pain and kicking part of his pregnancy yet. But the doctor said that since this was his first pregnancy, he wasn't going to really feel the kicking until he was 20 weeks pregnant, and he was only 16 weeks. But to keep him up, he turned his tapes up loud, sang along. If Sammy were here, he'd complain, but Tony would just shake his head and sing until Sam sang with him. He begged to just snack without really having to stop for food. It seemed lately the baby and food don't mix well, so he just snacked and ate sandwiches a lot, but really he missed his burgers. Well, of Charles, he drove about 12 hours before he decided he needed to stop and get some sleep. It was almost about 4 p.m. when he stopped at a mental. He was just going to take a nap. He went to get to California by early morning tomorrow, checking in and got to a hotel room. It was don't better than some of the kids' ones they stayed in. They were kids. He shrugged off his clothes until he was in his boxers and unshirt before getting in bed. He quickly got comfortable and closed his eyes and dozed off. He woke up a couple hours later because he was starving but also felt sick. Throwing up had been a gunk every day, it seemed. Once he was done with that, he brushed his teeth and took a hot shower. He was done. He got out and put his clothes back on. Checking out, he stopped, but at the store to get some more snacks and drinks, then went to the gas station and fueled up. It was around 8 at night now, so if he continues the next 11 and a half an hour, even with stopping for gas, the world would reach Stanford by 8 a.m., which was perfect time because Sam would probably be up anyways. Once he reached the university, he went to the animation officially to find out where he dorm was. When they asked who he was, he just said he was a friend. They really don't care. Enough for actual details. They told him Sam had no roommates, so was thankfully for that. It'd be awkward if he showed up and Sam had a roommate. But that reveal didn't last long because when the door opened to Sam's room, instead of seeing his brother, he saw a girl. He didn't say anything because he didn't know what to say. He hesitated, knowing Sam was dating someone. He had a feeling that Sam could have been with someone, but seeing it hurt. The girl spoke first. Can I help you? That snapped him out of, is Sam here? Who are you? I'm his friend. I'm friend. He never mentioned you, she said, looking at him. Really? Yeah, I bet. But is he here or not? He was getting annoyed. Yeah, he's here. I'm his friend. He never mentioned you, she said, looking weirdly. Yeah, I bet that is he's here or not. He was getting annoyed. Yeah, he's here. Well, could you go get him? He asked. Yeah, whatever, she said, turning around, rolling her eyes. He didn't know who she was, but he already wasn't liking to her. Taking the liking to her. He knew it was his choice to come here, but he was nervous. He hasn't seen his brother in a while, and being around Sam always made him nervous, but now he was scared. Sam did not expect to be shaken awake at 8 a.m. on Friday. Why? Because his morning classes got canceled and he was supposed to be sleeping. And so when his girlfriend woke him, he was kind of angry. "What the hell, Jess?" he asked, looking at her with one eye open. "Get up," she said. "No, I'm sleeping," and he said, closing his eyes again. "Get up, Sam," she said, shaking him again. "Why?" he whined. "Because there's someone at the door here for you." "What? Who is it?" he asked. He didn't. I love my family. I love it. Really have friends that wasn't from school, and Jess knew all of them, but he doesn't know Sam. But he said he was a friend of yours. He gave you a name? No. And I don't care. Just get up and deal with it while I go back to sleep. Oh, fuck. Motherfucker. No. Okay. He scuffed, but got up anyways. He struggled to the one opening the door, looking around. "Can I help you?" he asked before looking at who was there. But once he looked up, he definitely was shaking at who he was looking at. "Dean," he said. Hi, Sam." He nervously to say that Dean was just a little nervous. Would be on treatment any other time. He would be fine. But there is something about this moment that has him super nervous. Maybe it's the fact that he's pregnant, or the fact that he hasn't seen Sam in months. Maybe it's the overall fact is that he's showing up to his room unexpectedly, alone and pregnant, just to find out Sam has a girlfriend he didn't know, and it doesn't matter. And upside down to this moment is that he is seeing Sam, the person he has missed for 4 months, for the last month. But he also upset because Sam didn't even mention the fact that he was dating a girl, was staying with him. So he was a little pissed, but also relieved that his brother was alright. They stared at each other until Sam broke the silence. "What are you, doing here?" he asked. "I'm here 'cause we need to talk," he said. Okay. Am I recording? Yes, I am. And upside down, this moment I already read that. Look, can we talk later at some other time? Sam, he started. No, just I have class later, and you showed up unexpectedly. I'll show up unexpectedly. Okay? And I don't have. Oh my gosh. I don't have for this right now, Sam said. But Sam, we really should talk, Dean said. And we will. It just has to be later. Later? When? I don't know. Just text me the address and room where you're staying, and I'll come by later, or I'll text you, and we can meet somehow. When later? Okay. Fine, he said with a rolling the eyes. Sam closed the door and he walked back to his room. He sat on the edge of the bed and ran his hand through his hair and didn't know what to do, and he didn't know why Dean decided to show up. What if Jess has questioned? What is he supposed to say to her? More importantly, what is he supposed to say to Dean? He was going to need some more sleep if he was going to tickle on today. Oh, that's romantic. I love romantic stuff. Dean got in his car and drove around until he found a nice hotel to check himself into, since he was going to probably be in California for a few days. He decided to treat himself to a nice room that wasn't falling apart. Poor baby. That wasn't sentence. Once he got into his room, he unpacked his stuff and put it in the drawer and sat quick and texted Sam about where he was staying. Hot damn. When he took a hot shower to relax his muscles and to clear his head a little, since he hasn't eaten all day, he decided to get dressed and head out to dinner. A dinner to feed him and Jellybean. But he found a nice small diner about 20 minutes away from the hotel. It wasn't packed, and it looked like welcome. So he went inside and took a seat and looked over the menu. Waiter, a nice look middle-aged woman, and brought over to him Can I start you off with something to drink? She said a few minutes later after he has been sitting. Yeah, can I just get a cup of coffee? Black, please? She nodded. Yes, sure. I'll be right back with it, she told him. I nod and continue to see over the menu. He decided to go with something simple, and he gets pancakes and hash browns, and hopefully he could keep them down lately. The little one is in his stomach hadn't been happy too with real food lately. All right, here you go. Sweetheart, she says. Place his coffee right in front of him. I think you're ready to order now? Yes, ma'am. Can I just get the blueberry pancake and hash browns, please? You can, sugar. I'll be right back with it soon, all right? He nodded and set her a small smile. While he waited, he couldn't help but think about him, Sam, and that girl. But he doesn't know how he feels about Sam dating someone. When Sam had left, he had wanted to promise to wait for him. Fuck! Why is this always torturing me? But it seems Sam hasn't waited for him all the day. But it wasn't only upsetting about that. He was upset that Sam dismissed him. Like he felt it was important that Sam talked, but Sam kept brushing him off any other time in the past. Sam that he really didn't need to seemed like Sam had forgotten him, for at least tried to. He watched him. Sam would see how bad this was affecting Dean. Sam wasn't the one going through this alone, yet he acted like he was the only one that matters in this situation, which was why okay, I'm still recording. Good. So, was still in South Dakota. Dean went to the courthouse to get paper that started if Sam suggested he would have no right or claim for over. Dean called Dean's child. He don't want Sam to sign it, but if he did, then that was it. Dean would be done crying over him. He loved Sam, and he hoped Sam still loved him, because even if he stayed in Stanford, maybe they could work something out, but he just wanted Sam's support. He didn't even care about everything else between them right now. He evaluated and couldn't help but think about Sam and that girl. Okay. But he wasn't only upset about that. He was upset that Sam promised him like that. He felt it is important that they talk, but Sam just kept brushing